Muralist Nate Swain is out to transform featureless buildings in the Boston cityscape. This North End resident already has his neighbors doing double takes at his apparent changes in local street scenes. And he joins me now to discuss his vision to work his magic on many of the town's most iconic and most uninteresting looking structures. Thanks for coming on the show here.
Thank you.
All right, tell us about what you've done in the North End to actually change the appearance of a local building.
There's an electrical substation in the North End that had 18 bricked up windows. And I would look at that building and think, why can't the bricked up windows look like real windows? So I came up with the idea of doing it all with photography. Instead of painting it directly to the building, I collaged windows in Photoshop and had them installed. And painting would have taken 3 or 4 months, and the installation for doing it with photography took 3 days.
Now, what kind of feedback have you gotten from the North End residents?
Everyone loves it. It dressed up the building, and it just made one of the ugliest buildings in the North End into one of the most beautiful.
And I'm sure it's almost a tourist attraction now
exactly.
already, because this is the trompe-l'oeil, the fooling of the eye type.
Yes.
Now, you haven't had another building that you worked on in the North End? What's that?
I did the back of Assaggio's restaurant in the St. Leonard's Peace Garden.
Yeah.
And I took one photo of a wall at Arnold Arboretum and had it blown up 20 feet tall by, it wraps around 2 sides, 85 feet long. And people, again, think it's real when they see it.
Now, the thing we have behind you here, there's another image from the Arnold Arboretum that you're proposing to transpose to another location.
Yeah, with the digital technology we have with cameras today, we can blow photos up as large as we want. And I always thought, why not take the beauty of some of the parks Boston have and bring them into the city and frame them with interesting Boston architecture as well. And it would almost be like a gateway into like Narnia or some other.
Wow, it looks very intriguing, and especially with those cutout windows there. Now, but you're not just, stopping there. You've got ideas for other parts of the city if you can fund them. But let's talk about the garden, which is one of the iconic things there.
Yes.
This looks like you want to slice it in half there.
Yeah, I like the idea of taking an image, a panoramic image from the inside of the garden, and sticking it on the outside wall, because that wall is so gigantic and just terrible looking or boring looking.
Yeah.
And, it would be great to turn the building inside out, and I think it would, just by looking at the image, people would want to buy tickets and get inside.
And get excited about the things there. But I mean, how much would this project cost for this?
It would cost somewhere between like $100,000 and $200,000 to print a photograph that big. But it would take only about a week to install.
And how long do these photo murals last?
Depends on the sun exposure. If they're like hit by the sun most of the day, they last 5-10 years. But if they're north facing and don't see the sun, they could last as long as 20 years or longer. Now,
you have ideas for other buildings in the city that you'd like to see, for example?
Yeah, I have ideas for buildings all over the place. I've trained my eye to look for these blank walls, and they're everywhere.
Yes.
And you don't really notice them until you start looking for them. And now with vinyl, you can paint on vinyl as well.
And you've been working with kids to make, you are a traditional, even though you didn't go to art school, it seems like we're rivaling other cities like Cristo and other things. Yeah. I mean, maybe not quite yet there, but hopefully we'll start making a name for themselves. Are you trying to solicit people who are trying to draw attention to their buildings? Because I know like some people have gardens on the side there. This is a quick way. You'll do the work to transform a building into something the tourists will want to stop and look at.
Yeah, the idea of dressing up the blank, boring walls of Boston would definitely help with tourism and just the quality of life in the city. When you see these walls with beautiful photography or even painted beautiful murals, it makes you smile, it makes you feel good. It adds color in the winter when there is none.
And a lot of famous paintings in the past where this trompe-l'oeil, it looked 3D. Now we can't have 3D in movies, but it's fun to find it out, so to happen upon it on the street, serendipity and all this kind of stuff there. So have you are you fundraising for this, or is this, are you beating your own drum, or?
Yeah, I'm sort of getting the idea out there, and I'm going to start fundraising real soon for some smaller projects, but slowly work the fundraising up to, I got to start small and work up. Yeah, I'm more interested in getting people interested in this and getting a team together to maybe help me with
Right, you said
projects.
you had some kids making a mural.
I'm working with Artists for Humanities, and I worked with 10 high school kids, and I had these giant 30-foot by 35-foot banners, Bacardi banners that were
Recycled Bacardi.
yes, recycled Bacardi banners. And that we laid them out on the floor, and the high school kids painted them with acrylic paint, and they were installed recently in Roxbury on Hamden Street.
Well, that's wonderful. So now, how do you're just taking off right now there? That we've seen articles about you in the Herald and in the Metro, and so are we going to see you next on national TV on Good Morning America?
We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm onto something good, because people seem to take notice, and I'm just going to keep pushing it. It's my new passion. A lot of people want to find their passion in life, and I feel very lucky that I was able to find mine.
Well, that's a great testimonial in itself, that message to look for your passion and to find it. It's nice to know someone who has done this. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to see your website, or talk to you about maybe transforming their building?
Yeah, you can go to my website, nateswain.com, and there's a contact link, and just email me. And I would quickly respond, and I would be happy to do photo simulations for to show ideas. If anyone has images they want to use, I'd be happy to take those images and transpose them onto the wall to see.
So you know how to do it as well as having the idea of it. But you are a painter in your own thing. There's some examples of your own painting there.
Yes, I've been oil painting for 15 years or so, and I have my oil paintings all displayed in the North End. And so, yeah, I'm into all sorts of art. And
even though you didn't train for it, you're a landscape architect. Maybe that's why you like the Arnold Arboretum.
Well, I'm not a licensed landscape architect, but I went to school for it, and I worked in landscape architecture for 8 years and designed athletic fields. And
but this is so great that you bring the trees in, and even in the other things there, it looks like people's windows have little plants there.
Yeah,
so you are bringing nature, even though it's photorealism, into these it's dreary streets where there are no trees.
Yeah, it's making the landscape in the public realm look normal and sort of not jarring and disheartening. It sort of makes everything beautiful and soft and just colorful. It's nice.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. That's it for this edition of Neighborhood Network News. Chris Levitt and the rest of the gang will be back here on Monday night. We hope you'll join us then.